Hello all, welcome to TeamLease webinar. I am Sudha, AVP at TeamLease Digital, and I will be your host for today's discussion. In this episode, we have come up with an interesting topic, the rise of data-driven economy and its impact on industries, jobs, and skills. In this session, we'll take a deep dive into evolving landscape of data-driven industries, looking at which sectors are leading the way and which are still catching up. We will explore data monetization, regulatory challenges, and the impact of AI on jobs, along with strategies to build a strong data workforce. Right now, data is more than just information. It is a strategic asset, often compared to oil in terms of value. Businesses across industries are using it to drive decision making, optimize operations, create new revenue streams, while sectors like finance, healthcare, and technology are leading the charge. Others, such as traditional manufacturing and small scale enterprises, face hurdles like infrastructure gaps, regulatory roadblocks, and a shortage of skilled talent. We would love to make this as an interactive session, so feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. We will make sure that to address them in the end of the webinar session. Before we dive into discussion, I am delighted to introduce our esteemed panelist who brings a wealth of experience in data-driven strategies, industry trends, and workforce transformation. Their insights will provide a deeper understanding of how data is shaping businesses and careers today. In order to have a conversation with us, we have two industry experts as our panelists. Our first panelist is Alicia Ye, co-founder of Oaklead. Alicia has worked as a data analyst in Techman2 Digital and held data-focused roles at Infosys, gaining a strong foundation in analytics and business insights. Her journey also includes working with leading organizations like Microsoft and HP. Today, as a co-founder of Oaklead, she is focused on building brands in social media and driving data-driven strategies. Welcome, Alicia.
Thank you, Sudha.
Our next panelist is Mr. Avinash Talari, Senior Manager at Nielsen IQ. Avinash is an alumnus of IIT Kanpur and brings extensive experience in business analytics and consulting. He has previously worked with TCS and Genpact, where he honed his expertise in data analytics and insights. Currently at Nielsen IQ, he plays a key role in driving data analytics initiatives and takes businesses make informed and strategic decisions. Welcome, Avinash.
Thanks, Sudha.
We are honored to have both of you, Alicia and Avinash, with us today, and we look forward to your insights on how data is transforming industries, jobs, and skills required to thrive in this space. Let us now delve into our engaging discussions on the rise of data-driven economy and its impact on industries, jobs, and skills. To begin with, let us hear from Alicia first. Alicia, we often hear industries claiming to be data-driven, right? But in reality, not all of them are effectively leveraging data. While some sectors have successfully integrated data into their decision making, others are still struggling to adoption. Factors like infrastructure, talent, and mindset often create barriers. From your experience, which industries do you see leading the transformation and which ones are still struggling to catch up? What is holding them back?
Thank you for your question, Sudha. So here's the thing. Everyone nowadays says that they are data driven. But in reality, not all industries are actually using data the way they could. So from what I've seen, tech and SaaS companies, that is software as a service companies, are absolutely leading the way. For them, data isn't just important. It's a part of how they breathe. They test everything like new features, user flows, designs, and then make changes very fast based on what the numbers tell them. It's baked into their daily work. Finance and fintech are close behind. Banks and startups in this space have been using data for years to spot fraud, understand risk, and make smart trading decisions. Now, many are stepping it up with AI to personalize offers or detect weird behavior in real time as well. Then there's retail and e-commerce. Now, companies like Amazon and Walmart are super smart with data. They track what we click, what we buy, how long we browse, and they use all that info to give us better suggestions. And they manage stock and even change prices on the fly. It's something like data magic. Saying that, not every industry is moving that fast. Now, take manufacturing, for example. A lot of factories still use old systems like paper logs or spreadsheets, and that makes it hard to actually use data for better decision making. Or construction industry. Now, even though this industry is huge, but the way projects run is very manual and very spread out. Some teams are starting to use cool stuff like drones and digital models to collect data, but I still feel it's in the early days now. And talking about the education industry, now that is a mixed bag. Ed tech startups are actually doing cool things, but don't you think most of the schools and colleges are still relying on their gut feeling or few outdated tools? They have student data, but often don't use it to improve the learning in real time. Now, the second part of answering the second part of your question, like what's holding these industries back? I would say the first one is the resistance to change. Now, a lot of people are just they're so used to doing things in a certain way and they don't trust data yet. So they don't want to change. So I think that is the first one. The second one I would say are there are no enough skilled people who know both the business and the data side. So people are good on the business side, but not on the data. So if they're good with data, then they're not that good on the business side. So a blend of both these skills is something that is missing. And the third one I would say is the privacy rules. Now, in areas like healthcare or education, people are understandably super careful with data. Now, that makes the progress a little slower. Now, that said, I'm actually really excited. More people are becoming data aware these days. I'm seeing governments open up public data, healthcare teams explore AI for diagnosis, and even small businesses using dashboards to make better calls. So, yeah, some industries are ahead and others are catching up, but the shift is happening and it's super fun to watch.
Good. That's a great perspective, Alicia. It's clear that while some industries have embraced data, others are still in the early stages of catching up. Now, beyond just using data for decision making, businesses are increasingly looking at data as an asset, something that can be monetized. Some industries have already cracked this code using data, not just to optimize operations, but to create new revenue streams. My next question is for you, Avinash. In your experience, which industries are leading the way in data monetization, and what key lessons can others learn from them?
Yeah, thanks, Sudha, for the question. Before I answer this, let me explain how companies turn data into the revenue. Take Nielsen IQ as an example, the company I work for. What we do is we collect sales data from all the retail stores and create a retail analytics data product. Major CPG brands such as Unilever, P&G, and Coke, they pay Nielsen IQ to access this data. This is how our company makes money just by selling data products to the other companies. I can name a few industries like retail and CPG companies and banking companies and the social media companies are some of the biggest players in data monetization. Coming to the second part of this question, what lessons can others learn from them? Okay. If any company wants to monetize data effectively, they should focus on three key areas. The first one is investing in data collection. If the data quality is not good, whatever product or insights that you are going to give is not reliable at all. So companies must invest in infrastructure and the right technologies to collect the quality data. And the second area is investing in the right talent. Once you have the clean data, you should know how to use it. This is where the data guys like data analysts or data scientists play a crucial role. Companies must invest in getting the right talent. And the final part is monetizing the data. Companies can partner with other industries or the other companies and create a new revenue opportunity by selling the data or the insights to them. Yeah, this is.
Okay, that's a great insight, Avinash. It's evident that businesses are strategically leveraging data that gain a significant competitive advantage. With industries finding innovative ways to monetize data, there is an important question to address. How do they so responsible? Regulations like GDPR and other data privacy laws are reshaping how businesses handle data. Compliance is no longer optional, but it should hinder innovation. Alicia, from your perspective, how are regulatory and compliance challenges shaping data-driven business strategies across different sectors?
These days, rules around privacy and data protection, what we call regulations and compliance, are really changing how companies work with data. And honestly, it's a good thing. It's forcing the companies to slow down, think, and be more responsible with the data they collect and use. The first big change is this. Companies earlier used to collect everything, even if they didn't need it right away. They just thought, let's store all the data, maybe it'll be useful later. But now, with privacy laws like GDPR and others, they can't do that anymore. So businesses are learning to collect data smartly. Now, that means they're asking questions like, do we really need this information? What is the purpose of collecting this data? Now, they are being more careful and only collecting what actually helps their business, and that also protects the user in a way. Now, it's a shift from collect more to collect what matters. Now, the second thing I would say is about trust. Now, in industries like banking, healthcare, and telecom, there are a lot of strict rules around how data should be handled. But instead of seeing those rules as a problem, some smart companies are using them to build trust. Now, think about it. If a company clearly explains how your data is used and keeps it safe, you're more likely to trust them, right? Now, for example, a bank, imagine a bank. Now, that bank is transparent about how it uses your data and it has strong controls in place. So, in that case, you are more likely to the bank is more likely to gain your confidence, right? So now many companies are building systems that automatically check if they're following the rules and even make it easier to report how they are doing with the data. Now, the third trend I would say is around privacy and AI. Now, as companies use more AI and machine learning, there's more pressure to use it in a fair and honest way. Now, governments and customers are saying, we want to know how this AI is making decisions and we want it to be fair. So, companies are now asking for very clear permissions before they personalize things for you, especially in the advertising and marketing field. Some are even forming special groups inside the company called AI Ethics Board, just to make sure that their AI tools are safe. That like the tools that they build through AI are used safely and responsibly. And lastly, the companies are changing how they make money from data. Now, earlier, many businesses would buy or sell data from outside sources, say third party sources. Now, that's getting harder because of the new privacy rules. Now, companies are mainly focusing on first party data. Now, that's the data you give them directly. So, they're creating things like reward programs or offering you discounts in exchange for the information, especially your information that you give. But in a way that's open and fair. So, instead of selling your data, many businesses now offer helpful insights or services based on what they have learned from it. So, overall, these rules and regulations aren't just about saying no to data use. They're helping the companies to do things in a better way, like by building trust, protecting privacy, and encouraging smarter and more thoughtful strategies. And to be honest, the businesses that understand this early on will be the ones who grow stronger in the long run. I hope that answers your question,
Yes,
Sudha.
yes, Alicia. That's a crucial point you made it, Alicia. While compliance is necessary, it can sometimes slow down innovation, making it important for businesses to find a right balance. While businesses navigates compliance challenges, other transformation is also underway. AI and automation are redefining job roles across industries. The fear of job displacement is real. But history tells us that technology doesn't just eliminate jobs, it creates new ones, right? The key challenge is how businesses can prepare their workforce for this shift. Avinash, what strategies do you think businesses can adopt to minimize job displacement due to AI and automation while ensuring a smooth transition to the more technology driven workforce?
Yes, Sudha. As you mentioned, right, automation will definitely replace the repetitive task, but it will also create the new opportunities. However, there will be some job losses. To to reduce this job loss as business start using more technology or moving to more technological advancements. Companies can follow a few important steps. The first one is upskilling the existing employees. Companies can encourage their employees to learn new skills like machine learning, AI, and cloud technologies to stay relevant in the data field. Secondly, instead of eliminating the jobs, they can move employees into higher value roles. Just for example, someone handling the manual data processing job can transition to a role focusing on extracting insights from data if we train that employee well. And the final one is effective change management. Companies can conduct town halls and open discussions to address employee concerns, and they can provide a clear roadmap for their career growth in the evolving workforce. Yeah, I hope this
Yeah,
answers.
I got the answer. That's an important perspective, Avinash. Reskilling and upskilling is also crucial to make the effective workforce and transition smooth and effective. And that brings us to another major challenge: hiring the right talent. With data playing such a crucial role in business strategy, organization need to upskill professionals who can manage and analyze data effectively. However, many companies struggle to find a right talent with the necessary skills. Alisha, from a hiring perspective, what do you see as the biggest challenge organizations face when building a strong data workforce?
Okay, so building a strong data team sounds exciting, but honestly, it's not easy. So, from what I've seen, there are five big challenges that companies are dealing with right now when it comes to hiring data talent. First, I feel that there aren't enough skilled people to go around. The demand for data professionals is way higher than the supply. So, everyone, take from the big tech companies to small startups, they want data scientists, machine learning experts, and analysts. But to be honest, schools and colleges just can't train people fast enough to meet that demand. And another problem is that smaller companies often lose out because they can't match with the high salaries or fancy perks that are often offered by the big companies. Now, the second one is that it's hard to find people who understand both tech and business. Now, many candidates are great with technical stuff. They know Python, SQL, or machine learning tools, but they often struggle when it comes to explaining their findings to business teams or making their insights useful in real world decisions. Now, this creates a gap. The data team builds great models, but the business side, they don't know what to do with the result. And that means a lot of great work goes unused. Okay. And now the third one I would say is that some companies don't really know what they're hiring for. Now, I've seen job postings that ask for one person to do everything like analyzing data, building dashboards, training AI models, managing projects, whatnot, you name it. Now, that's like asking someone to be a chef, a waiter, a dishwasher, and the restaurant manager all in one. Now, this can actually confuse the job seekers. And often, what happens is that the wrong people get hired for the wrong roles. Now, companies need to be clearer and more focused about what they actually need. The fourth one is that keeping good people is really tough. Now, even if you find the right talent, holding on to them is another challenge. Now, data professionals majorly leave a company if they feel stuck or if they don't have the right tools to do their job or if they feel like no one really values what they do. Now, and because another thing is like because everyone is hiring aggressively, talented people often will have lots of other offers as well. And lastly, the one major thing is that tech changes fast now, really, really fast. Data tools and platforms are always evolving, as you all know. So even people with strong skills can quickly fall behind if they are not learning constantly. So I think hiring isn't just about finding the right person once. It's all about creating an environment where people can keep learning and stay updated with the latest technology. Now, if you ask me what are companies doing to fix this, I'd say probably they are writing clearer, more focused job descriptions. They are training their own employees, like what Avinash mentioned earlier. They are helping people from different departments move into data roles. And they are encouraging teamwork where the data folks and business teams can work closely together. And some companies are also offering mentorship and career growth paths. So people actually feel supported and they will feel like they want to stick around in that company. So, yes, hiring a great data team is hard, but it's not impossible. The companies that get it right are the ones who focus not just on skills, but on, say, clarity, communication, and also creating a space where people can grow.
You're right. That's a valid concern, Alicia. Hiring skilled professionals is one part of the equation, but businesses also need to ensure that their existing workforce evolves and upskills according to the industry demands. Which leads me to a next question. Beyond just hiring, organizations need to focus on develop the right skill sets within their teams. Data analytics, AI, and cloud computing are in high demand, but soft skills like problem solving and critical thinking are just as important in the data driven economy. Avinash, what specific technical and soft skills do you see to become a essential data analyst or in a today's data driven world? How can businesses ensure their workforce upskill or develop these capabilities within the organization?
Okay. If you want to enter or stay relevant in the data field, you need a mix of both technical as well as soft skills. Talking about technical skills, if you are targeting a role such as data analyst or scientist or business analyst, you must know Excel, SQL, Power BI, and Python. These are the essential tools for data analysis and visualization. And it is also good to know the applications of AML, like understanding concepts like regression, natural language processing, and classification techniques. These will help with doing advanced analytics. Since businesses are moving to cloud platforms, having cloud knowledge is a plus. Cloud technologies like AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud, knowing any one of them is really advantageous. Coming to the soft skills, first one is critical thinking and problem solving skills. What I mean by that is we should always analyze data carefully and ask the right questions before presenting results or some insights to stakeholders. And the second one is the communication and storytelling part. As a data guy, sometimes or most of the times, you may work with non-technical teams. So it is important to simplify complex data into clear and actionable insights. Moving on to the second part of the question, like how companies can help their employees to achieve these skills. They can offer internal training programs and collaborate with platforms like Coursera or the LinkedIn Learning so that employees can learn it by themselves. They can also organize hackathons and encourage employees to participate in real-world problem-solving challenges. By developing these skills, both individuals as well as the businesses can stay ahead in this data-driven world.
That's a really great point, Avinash. As data becomes central to business strategy, it's just not knowing how to analyze numbers. It's about understanding the story behind the data, making informed decisions, and communicating insights effectively. My next question is for you, Alicia. As automation and AI reshape heavy data tasks, what emerging job roles do you think will be crucial in next 5 to 10 years? And how can job seekers upskill to stay competitive as traditional data roles evolve?
Okay. So as automation and AI continue to grow, I think a lot of traditional data tasks like data cleaning, creating reports, or even basic analysis will be handled by machines or AI tools. But that doesn't mean jobs are disappearing. It only means that the type of jobs are changing. We are seeing a new wave of roles that focus more on strategy, communication, ethics, and specialized AI skills. Now, a few roles that comes into my mind when you say are super important in the next 5 to 10 years would be one responsible AI lead. Now, this is the person who makes sure AI is being used in a fair, safe, and ethical way. So, if a company is building an AI tool, this person checks whether this tool is biased, could it hurt someone, or are we using the data responsibly? So, it's a role that combines tech understanding with a strong moral compass. Now, the next role is AI product manager. Now, imagine someone who connects the dots between the business and the AI teams. Now, they don't necessarily build the AI, but they know how to guide the team, manage timelines, and make sure that the AI product that they release solves a real problem. Now, we can think of them as like a coach for the AI team. Another role that comes to my mind is data and AI translator or business analytics partner. Now, this person helps two worlds talk to each other. Like I said before, the data people and the business people. Now, they take complex data insights and explain them in simple ways so decision makers can actually use them and understand them better. So, this is, I would say, a super valuable skill, especially in companies where not everyone speaks about data. Another role would be MLOps or AI Ops engineer. Now, I would say these are the behind the scene heroes. Now, once an AI model is built, this person makes sure that it runs smoothly in real life. Uh, kind of like, say, for an example, like someone setting up a racetrack and making sure that the car keeps running without crashing, right? So, that is about this role. And another one would be data privacy engineer or governance specialist. Now, with so many rules around how data can be used, this role is all about protecting people's information. And it also helps companies stay on the right side of the law, all because privacy is only getting more important these days. And another role that comes to my mind is synthetic data specialist. Now, this one's super interesting. Okay. Why I say it's interesting is because sometimes companies can't use real customer data for training the AI. So, what they do is they create fake but realistic data. Now, that's where this role comes into being important. Now, they build safe data that AI can learn from. Okay, that's what a synthetic data specialist is. And another role I would say is human AI interaction designer or say AI UX designer. Now, as AI becomes more common, we need to make sure that humans can interact with that AI easily. Now, this role focuses on making those experiences very smooth and user friendly. Now, say whether it is a voice assistant or chatbots or the AI tools. That's where this role comes in. And another role that comes to my mind is data centric AI specialist. Now, when most people are focused on model, this role is all about improving the quality of data that goes into the AI. I say that because the better the data, the better the AI is. So, if you ask me, how can job seekers stay ready for the future? Well, I'd say something similar to what Avinash mentioned. Learn cloud platforms like AWS, Google Cloud, or Azure. Now, these are where most data and AI projects live today. Then understand AI basics, even if you're not from the tech background. I mean, what I mean to say is you don't need to build an AI model, but knowing what it is and how it works will actually go a long way. Then work on your communication skills. Now, this is the part of the soft skills. Now, being able to tell a story with data or explain tech to a non tech person is a game changer. Now, the next one I would say collaborate across teams. Now, in the real world, no one works in a silo, right? So, learn to work with people from different teams like the design team, marketing team, or sales team, and so on. Then, what you can do is you can try real projects. Now, don't wait for a job, just start small. Use free data sets that are available, build a dashboard, or even you can try a mini project using AI tools. And you can also join open source projects if you can. Now, that's a great way to learn and get noticed. And yeah, well, finally, I would say keep up with the trends. Now, AI is being used in many fields. You can say healthcare, sustainability, education, you name it. Now, the more you're aware, the more you can spot your place in the space. So, yes, AI is changing the game. But instead of being scared of it, I'd say lean into it. AI isn't just about replacing jobs, it's all about creating better and smart ones. And the people who succeed in this space will be the ones who can blend tech skills with human understanding. Now, the future actually needs people who understand both the data and the people. And if you're willing to learn, I'm sure there's definitely a seat at the table for you.
That's an amazing information, Alisha. While the demand for data professionals is growing rapidly, but there is always a question of qualifications. Some believe in formal degree is essential, while others argue that certification and hands-on experience matters more. Avinash, in your opinion, do professionals need a degree to build a career in data? Or can certifications or some training or hands-on experience be just as valuable? And from an employer's perspective, what really makes a candidate stand out in terms of data?
Okay. To start a career in the data field, a degree in computer science or statistics or maybe in data science can provide a strong foundation, but it is not mandatory. I personally know that few people who have an MBA degree or masters in economics are doing pretty well. So doing certifications and creating a portfolio of projects, as Alicia mentioned, can help grab an employer's attention, but ultimately, your interview performance matters most. You need to demonstrate both your technical skills and soft skills to build confidence with the hiring managers. And coming to the second part of the question, what employers look for candidates when they hire for data roles, especially like the analyst or data scientist or business analyst, they majorly look out for three things. The first one is, as I mentioned earlier, you may be tested on SQL, Python, and Power BI. Employers may also check your knowledge of statistics and the machine learning algorithms. And the final part is they may check whether you analyze the data and get and extract insights out of it and explain your projects clearly to non-technical stakeholders or not. That's your ability to explain your projects. They may as well test on that aspect.
That's an interesting take, Avinash. For many professionals who are already working but want to transition into data roles, the challenge is finding time to upskill. Alisha, what advice would you give to professionals looking to upskill in data analytics and AI without leaving their current jobs? What are some of the best learning pathways they can explore in the market?
Oh, thank you very much for asking me that question, Sudha. This is like one of the common questions I hear. Like, can I learn data analytics or AI while working on a full-time job? And I would say the answer is yes, 100% yes. Now, you don't need to quit your job or go back to college full time. What you do need, what you need is like a right mix of small, consistent learning, real practice, and a bit of smart planning. Now, I would say start with a micro learning mindset. Now, instead of waiting for a big block of free time, I mean, which really never comes, just block 30 to 60 minutes a day or set aside a couple of hours on the weekend. Now, think of it like brushing your teeth. It's a small, regular effort, but over time, it adds up. Then, the next important thing is choose your path based on your goal. I'd say don't try to learn all that is available. You'll end up being jack of all trades and master of none. Now, learn the skills that specifically align with the job role that you are looking for. Now, for example, if you want to be a data analyst, learn tools that help you work with and explain data. Now, you can start with Excel or Google Sheets. Learn formulas, pivot tables, and how to clean messy data. And then pick up SQL to pull data from databases. You can also learn data visualization tools like Tableau, Power BI, or Looker Studio to make your data easy to understand. Pick one at a time, finish it, and then go to the next tool. And a little bit of statistics also helps, like things like averages, trends, A/B testing, and so on. And most importantly, I would always say learn storytelling with data. Now, how to explain insights in a way people understand and care about it, that really matters. Even if you work on a lot of data and you have pretty good insights, if you're not able to explain that to people, it's all waste and your time is wasted. So I would say that. Now, if you're aiming for a data scientist role, then learn Python and libraries like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, all this for analyzing the data. You can use SQL to extract data from different sources. You can also explore machine learning tools like scikit-learn and XGBoost. Now, learn how to deploy your models using simple tools like Flask or Streamlit. And finally, you can also get the basics of MLOps, which is about like monitoring and maintaining models once they go live. So start small. Now, if you say like if you think you want to become an AI or machine learning engineer, then you've got to focus on strong Python skills, object-oriented programming, and understanding how data structures work. You will require deep learning tools like TensorFlow and PyTorch. Understand Docker and Kubernetes. Now, these will help run your models in real-world environments. You can also explore MLOps tools like MLflow, Airflow, and Kubeflow. And you also need to get comfortable with cloud tools like AWS SageMaker or Google Vertex AI. This is where like many companies are building AI today. Now, once you do your part of the learning, then try to build a portfolio. Now, start small. Pick a small problem you're curious about. You can use free data sets from sites like Kaggle, or if you're allowed, you can use anonymized data from your own work. Then try to create a dashboard, run some small analysis, or build a tiny model. Then share your projects on GitHub or public platforms like Tableau Public or Streamlit. Now, this is super valuable because when you're applying for a job, you can show what you've done, not just talk about it, right? Now, once you build a portfolio, now I would say you can also use your current job as your playground since you're already working and you want to know whether you can learn AI, right? So you can use your current job as your playground. So as you're learning this, now you don't have to wait for permission or now look around your team or department. Now, all that you have to do is like check if you can automate some boring report using SQL. See if you can build a dashboard to track performance. Or maybe just suggest a simple A/B test to improve something at your work. Now, these small projects help you learn and that will make you stand out at work as well. And yeah, another thing is like don't forget that your company might help you learn as well. Now, many companies are offering learning budgets or paid course access now. So make sure you ask for it. So sometimes you might not be aware of it. So until you ask it, you might not get an information about it. So ask for it. And some also have internal mentorship programs or learning groups where you can join and grow together. So, in short, you don't need to quit your job or wait for the perfect time. I would say start small, stay consistent, and align your learning with where you want to go or where you want to see yourself in a few years ahead. Whether you want to be an analyst, a data scientist, or you want to dive into AI. Now, there's a learning path out there for you, and it's totally doable even with a busy schedule. All that you need to do is put some effort and time into it.
That's really useful and helpful information, Alicia, for all of us. So it's clear that beyond technical expertise, employees are looking for well-rounded candidates who can bring more to the table. Avinash, in your experience, what are the key factors companies look for when hiring for data roles beyond just technical expertise?
Yes, Sudha. So as I mentioned earlier in my previous responses, apart from the technical skills, they focus on your problem-solving skills and critical thinking skills. Like they may check whether you can analyze the data and find some insights out of it, which drives the business and create an impact. And on communication and business knowledge front, They may test if you can explain the data-driven insights clearly to the non-technical stakeholders. Yeah, so apart from the technical skills, these are the skills they may check.
Okay. Thank you, Avinash, for the insights. It's clear that while technical skills are crucial, companies are also prioritizing problem-solving skills, communication skills, business acumen when hiring for data roles. As the demand for data professionals continues to rise, bridging the gap between technical expertise and strategic thinking will be the key for both businesses and job seekers. We have now reached an important part of webinar where we would like to take up questions from the participants and audience.
Okay, so I do see a question here. What's your take on data as the new oil? Is it truly the most valuable asset for companies today? Okay, well, here's why people say data is like oil. Now, raw data is like crude oil. It's useless until it is processed. Now, just like you can't pour crude oil into your car, you can't do much with raw data either. It needs to be cleaned, organized, and analyzed. That's when it becomes valuable, when it gives you insights that helps in making better decisions. Now, data powers today's biggest companies. Now, see Amazon, Google, Netflix, Meta. Now, these giants run on data. They use it for everything from like showing you the right product or ad to predicting what you will watch next. It's the fuel behind like recommendation engines, smart assistants, supply chains, whatnot. You name it. So that's another one. Another take is data gives companies a competitive edge. Now, just like countries with oil had power in the past, now companies with better data have power now. So, if you understand your customers better or you can predict what's going to happen next, then I would say you win. Now, here's where the data is the oil analogy doesn't quite work. Now, oil runs out, but data doesn't. Okay. Data actually grows the more you use it. Now, every click, every swipe, every review, or every order adds more to the system. And the more data you have, the smarter your system gets. Now, more data doesn't always mean better. Okay. Now, if you collect tons of messy, outdated, or random data, it won't help you. It's like having a giant oil spill. Now, useless and maybe even harmful. So, data needs context to be useful. Now, oil has value everywhere, but data, it depends. Now, a customer's shopping data might be like a wonderful thing or like a gold for an online store, but that's completely meaningless for a hospital or a factory, right? So, that's why I say data needs context to be useful. And another big one I would say is privacy. Now, misusing oil might hurt the planet, but misusing data can hurt people directly. Now, think about like data leaks, identity theft, or biased AI systems. Now, that's where the strict laws, like what we mentioned before, like GDPR and India's no data protection law. The companies have to be really careful and really responsible. So, yeah, here's my take on this. Now, data is kind of like oil, electricity, and water rolled into one. Now, it powers everything. It's essential, and it needs to be handled with care. But the catch is, just having data isn't enough. To make it valuable, companies need the right tools to make sense of it, the right people who know what to do with it, and most importantly, a strong ethical approach to how they collect and use the data. So, yes, Data is one of the most powerful assets a company can have, but only if they know how to use it wisely. Otherwise, I would say it's just noise.
Thank you, Alicia, for answering the question. Uh, I think we have one more question in the chat box.
Okay,
Avinash, you would like to take it up?
Yeah, I see a few questions. Let me read out the second one. There are so many online courses for AI and data analytics. How can professionals choose the right learning path to stay relevant in this evolving industry? Yes, right. There are so many courses available in the market right now. Few are very good courses and few are really bad. So you have to be careful in choosing the right course. And coming to the right learning path for professionals. So it depends, I think, on your interest and the skill set. This data field is so big. There are so many roles. I think a couple of them Alicia has already mentioned in one of her answers. There are few roles. They are majorly technically driven roles. You need to have good technical skills. Just to name a few roles, for example, the data engineers or the ML engineer, AI engineer, their focus is more on you need to have great technical skills. But there are few roles where like data analyst, data scientist, or the business analyst. For these roles, you need to have both technical skills as well as good presentation skills and the communication skills. But your technical skills need not be at an expert level like the way other roles, as I mentioned, like data engineers or ML engineers have. So it depends on your interest as well as your skill set. If you are like not very great at technical skills, or if you are not inclined to go into pure technical roles, you may focus or you can target on data analyst or scientist roles. But if you are like tech savvy or very much interested in tech, then you can go get into like data engineering or AI engineer or ML engineer roles.
Thanks, Avinash. This answers the other question also. There is a question in the chat box for someone looking for a career in data analytics. Is it necessary to have a formal degree? This answers actually your information about other question. This answers this question as well. So there's one more question in the chat box. Alicia, if you can take it up. How do data-driven companies compare in performance to traditional ones? Are there any industries where data-driven strategies have completely reshaped the market?
Nice. So the big question is, do data-driven companies really perform better than traditional ones? And the short answer is yes, big time. Now, companies that use data to make decisions are more likely to get new customers, keep the old ones they have, and make more profit than those that don't. Now, in fact, studies by big names like McKinsey and MIT, they say that data-driven companies are 23 times more likely to bring new customers, 6 times more likely to keep them, and almost 20 times more likely to be profitable. Now, if you ask me why is that, that's because these companies make faster and smarter decisions. They can predict trends better. They give more personalized experience, and they automate all the boring tasks so that their teams can focus on the big stuff. Now, industries where data didn't just help, it I think it totally reshaped the game, right? Now, for example, the e-commerce and retail. Think of Amazon, Flipkart, or Nykaa. What they do, they use data to recommend the exact product you're likely to buy, change prices based on demand, keep their supply chain running super smoothly. Now, stores that didn't adapt, many of them lost customers and they couldn't even keep up. Another one is banking and fintech. Now, look at Paytm, Razorpay, or neobanks like Jupiter. Now, they use data to score your credit in seconds, spot fraud instantly, offer personalized financial products. Now, traditional banks were slow to act, and that gave the fintech startups a huge head start, right? Now, another one that comes to mind is media and entertainment. Now, Netflix and Spotify are like the perfect examples. They use your watching or listening history to suggest what your next favorite show or song will be. They even decide what content to create next. For example, like Netflix made The House of Cards because data showed people would love it. Now, old school TV networks, if you see, they're still trying to catch up to that level of personalization, but they haven't reached yet. Another example that I can give is the food delivery apps and ride sharing apps like Uber, Ola, Swiggy, Zomato, they totally changed the game. We all know that. Now, their apps, they use data to match supply and demand in real time, optimize route for drivers. They use surge pricing based on traffic, weather, and demand. So, when you're booking Uber or Ola, like if the traffic is more or the if it is raining, then you see a spike in the price, right? So they do all that with this. Now, it's all data behind the scenes that makes everything feel fast and easy for the users. Now, not only these, even the travel and the hospitality industry as well. Now, like Airbnb, Booking.com, they give personalized search results, smart pricing based on season and demand, just like the Ola Uber. Then trust systems, all of these systems, they trust, they run by reviews and verifications. Now, even we if we want to book some place, the first thing that we do is we go and we check the reviews that the people have given, right? So yeah, now this is all possible for them. Now, if you say the traditional hotel chains, they couldn't offer this kind of flexibility and data powered trust. So because of that, that gave Airbnb a major advantage, right? So I would say the big picture across all these industries, the winners are those who understand their customers through data, optimize, and they keep innovating. And here's the thing, data strategy is no longer just like a bonus, it's becoming the bare minimum. If a company doesn't use data well, they risk falling behind very fast. Now, some areas like traditional manufacturing, healthcare, and government are still catching up. They're starting to see the power of data, but they've got more work to do, and the pressure is on, like modernize or get disrupted. So, yeah, data driven companies don't just perform better, they change the rules of the game, and the rest of the world is actually trying to keep up with it. That's what I would say.
Thank you, Alicia. Wonderful information. As we wrap up the insightful discussion, it's clear that data is no longer just a supporting function. It's a driving force behind this business transformation across industries. One key takeaway is that while AI and automation are reshaping job roles, they're also creating new opportunities for those who continuously upskill and adopt businesses. On the other hand, must foster a data driven culture, invest in workforce management, workforce development, and strike the right balance between technology and human expertise. Huge thank you to both of you, Alicia and Avinash, for sharing your valuable thoughts and insights. And of course, to all our participants and attendees who engaged us, and your engagement and questions made this session even more enriching. Let's keep the conversation going beyond today's webinar. If you have any further questions, feel free to connect with us through emails, or in the chat box also. We can take up the questions for later. You can ping it in the chat box. Team will get back to you with our answers. Thank you all for joining, and have a great day ahead.
Thank you. Thanks, Sudha.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Sudha. Thank
Thanks
you
for
very
the
much.
opportunity. Bye.